Hi, welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is Sipsky, your host. Last week I showed you this modded version of DJI Spark. I call it the BB Spark 248. The reason it's 248 because it weighs 248.5 grams, so less than 250, which has a huge implication. And we'll talk about that later on. But what I'll show you in this video is the stability test and the life of the battery, okay, how long it will last hovering in mid-air. I'll give you a clue right now. It's going to last more than 14 minutes, but what I'll show you is a condensed version of that videos. I'll make it a couple minutes long instead of over 14 minutes. Okay, and then we'll talk about it. Let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to test the flight time on my modified DJI Spark. This is the BB Spark 248. I have a timer. I'm going to show you the time. And as well, I recorded through the camera of the DJI Spark. I have everything set up. Just give me a second here. Okay, the remote is ready. Everything is ready. Let's see. Let's get started. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's able to fly, hover over, maybe twist a little bit here and there. 14 minutes and 34 seconds. Not bad at all. Pretty impressive. Let's talk about it. Alright, as you can see, the stability test and the battery longevity. As it hovers, it can go for 14 minutes and 30 seconds. That's pretty impressive because the original DJI Spark can go probably a little bit less than that, maybe like 12-13 minutes. So this thing can hover about a minute or two more than the original. And it's quite stable. As you can see the video image. I did move the joystick around a little bit just to, to pan it around and to move left and right, forward, backward a little bit, and then rotate it so you can see the camera that I record and the timer on my tablet, okay? But you can see the video quality is amazing because I didn't touch the gimbal. I left the way it is. So the 2-axis gimbal is also very stable. Well, now what I did, of course, is I shaved off 56 grams worth of weight. So now this drone is only 248.5 grams. Pretty much this drone is exempt from the new Canadian drone laws. Okay, Very safe drone, by the way, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so it's less than 250. That means you don't have to register this drone, and you don't have to write a test on it because it's less than 250. Now, what I suggest you do is that even though it's less than 250, you still have to be safe about it. Okay. I would suggest that if you're going to fly closer than 30 meters, you got to slow it down, okay? From 30 meters to 2 meters, you got to slow it down like a dolly shot, really slow. Once you reach 2 meters, just come to a full stop, okay? It doesn't really matter whether this drone is 250 or 200 or even 50 grams. This rule applies to any drones, right? Because it's still a moving object, and it's like just like a ball, right? It can hit you. So if you don't know how to control it, well, yeah, it can hurt you too. So just be aware of that. Just be safe. Okay, now let's talk about the cons. What did I notice? Well, when you mod this type of drone from 304 grams to 248 grams, you are going to lose something, right? So basically, you have to take away the plastic from the battery and the cover and the fan and all that stuff. And so pretty much you void your warranty. So be aware of that. If you're going to do this mod, you are going to avoid your warranty. And there is a definite possibility that you will destroy your drone if you don't know what you're doing. In fact, thank God, and literally thank God, that I was blessed. I didn't destroy this drone. I almost did, because I did not know some of the component in there, and when I tried to take it out, I almost destroyed some of the component, which would permanently damage this drone and I won't be able to fly it. But thank goodness and thank God that it wasn't like that. In fact, miraculously, this drone works perfectly. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna avoid your warranty when you mod this drone. So be aware of that. Just be aware you're not gonna get your money back. Number 2. If you let this drone idle more than 3 minutes, I think 3 or 4 minutes, it does overheat. Now that's a good thing, okay? This is a protective mechanism preventing the drone from flying. So that's awesome. And the reason for that is I removed the fan and to reduce the weight, right? But here's the catch. You remove the fan and it overheats after 3 minutes when it's idling. In other words, when the propeller is not turning. So the strategy is make sure you fly it within 3 minutes, okay? So make sure, get everything set up, ready to go, and you are able to fly it, and you won't have that issue, okay? Because this CPU, this component inside, gets really hot, and and it will not start after 3 minutes. And that's a good thing, because you don't want the thing to fly in midair, and then, it falls, right? So that brings me to the second point, that this is actually more safe than the original DJI Spark, because the DJI Spark actually has a cover and has a very little airspace in there. They have a fan in there, but I don't think it's good enough. When you have an open space like this, you have these propeller actually cooling inside. And in fact, what happened is the electrical energy is moved towards, the current towards the motor, and so redistribute the battery power, and it cools not just the propeller itself, but it actually overall cools the whole system. So it's I would say almost, if not impossible, for this drone to overheat when it's flying, okay? Now, of course, the thing is, because the cover is now removed, you do not fly it during rainy day or fly when there's water involved, okay? So any kind of area where there's waterfalls or splashes of water and gets into component, you'll definitely damage your drone. So avoid that. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin this drone, and your mod version of Spark is kaput. Yeah. So yeah, only on a dry day. Okay. What else did it? Yeah. Let me see. I think that's about it. The only thing I have to say is that I wish the DJI Spark had a camera that's 4K and it's 10-bit, and you can color grade it, because this is 1080p camera. In a sense, it's very small. I don't think it's even possible to do a 1-inch camera on this 250 grams or less drone. However, I'll be happy if they can do 4K and 10-bit. right? Yeah, so if they could do that, on a drone that's 250, I would love it, and that'd be great. But I think 1080p is adequate, but I wish it was like a 1080p 10-bit, then you can color grade and you have ability to do this D-log or M-log, whatever log for color grading, okay? If this type of drone can do it, it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Because pretty much you can fly, you can have family shot, you can have short films, like, something that's closer. So it has a different point of view, right? When you're flying these smaller drones, and it's quite safe. That's the amazing part. And the battery lasts quite long too. So let's look at the implication. The implication is this. So you have a drone that's less than 250. So in Canada, you're going to be exempted from the new drone law. So you don't have to register this drone, and you can fly closer than 30 meters. But even given that you're exempted, it doesn't mean that you abuse it, right? Whether this drone is 50 grams or 100 grams, it doesn't matter. It's still a moving object, so you still have to be safe about it, okay? So make sure you be safe and protect all the drone flyers from from any type of misuse, and then we will be protected. Otherwise, if everybody becomes stupid and irresponsible, the government will never allow us to fly these, or any type of drone at all, okay? So use your common sense. It doesn't matter, is it 50 grams, 100 grams, just be safe about it, all right? Yeah. So next week what I'll do is I will give you some detail on how I go about modding the drone. My advice, okay, is that you just do it slowly as you pick through the part of it that you want to remove, and just be aware you're gonna definitely void your warranty. You're gonna sacrifice a drone that's worth $400 or $500 kaput. There's a possibility, okay? Especially if you don't know what you're doing. And there's the overheating issue. You won't be able to start it if you leave it idling for more than 3-4 minutes. So there's all those negative parts, but the outcome of this, of course, is that you have a drone that's amazing video footage, closer than 30 meters, and the battery lasts for over 12-13 minutes, and it has a beautiful functional camera with 2-axis gimbal. Amazing. What more can you ask? Again, you do have to take the risk, so I'll show you next week on how to do that. Thanks for watching EducateTube.com.